Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the future of the water and wastewater industry and the careers you didn't know about. I'm your host, Dave Kuzminski, and we are live on location at the CWWA CTAWA Fall Conference over at the AquaTurf in Southington. And with me today is our first guest, who is the regional manager from Weston Sampson, Mr. Raju Vasamsetti.
Yes.
Hi, Raju. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
They threw you in the barrel at the deep end here. Okay.
No problem.
So basically, the whole premise of the podcast is, making an awareness to high school students, college freshmen, about the careers that are available to the water industry. So I know you took over for Chris Wester,
Yep.
okay, and Chris was one of my first podcasts
Nice.
a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, and
Yeah.
so forth. So tell me about your day job.
My day job, pretty much, we have approximately over 100 people in Connecticut, Weston Sampson. It spreads throughout Connecticut as well as like the Western Massachusetts region. We do a lot of things, water, wastewater, but we also do like transportation and a lot of other things as well. We have a number of disciplines in our office. So my day-to-day job pretty much is like, I handle my own stuff. So my background in water is stormwater, which is like, the nice water quality, the runoff, the flooding, that sort of things, with
sure.
climate change and everything. And then obviously look at like, what everybody else needs in the office,
Sure.
the office needs, the regional needs in terms
Okay.
of like, more like satisfy our clients who are like the water departments and, the municipalities and DOTs and stuff like that, make sure like, stuff gets done, on time, those kind of things, as well as like, go talk to more people, newer work, also bring in younger engineers, interns,
Sure.
recruiting, those kind of stuff as well.
Now, how many offices do you guys have now? Because you guys are pretty big.
We are pretty big, almost 950 at this point, almost close to hitting 1,000 people. And we have offices throughout East Coast, very, very densely concentrated in Northeast, and we are moving Southeast and South and stuff like that. I would say we have around like 25 to 30 offices when you talk about small, big kind of a thing. In Connecticut, we have one regional big office in Rocky Hill, and we have also a smaller office, SB Church, in Oxford, Connecticut.
Okay, yes. You
Yep.
just acquired SB Church
Yes,
not too long
yes,
ago.
yeah,
Okay, yes.
yeah. There is some like what you call duplication in what we do,
Sure.
and we design and they go and drill and those kind of things. So
Nice.
it definitely made sense.
Yeah, well, it's a fit,
Yeah.
as far as that goes. So, your educational past, tell me how.
I have
where
a
did that go?
I have a bachelor's in civil engineering from India. I came here on a student visa like almost 24 years ago.
Okay.
Did my bachelor's back there, and my senior project was like hydrology, like stormwater, that sort of stuff. And I got like passionate about like riverine, surface water, environmental, that kind of stuff. And then I came to do my master's. I did my master's in Midwest. I did a master's in civil and environmental engineering. Again, same focus on hydrology and stormwater and modeling and all those kind of cool stuff. And then Midwest being a little bit sparse, I kind of moved all the way east to Connecticut. Just had friends in this area, and then I got my first job in Connecticut. And ever since then, I just stayed in Connecticut, and it's been pretty good, so far.
So back in India, how obviously you have the traditional high schools and so forth. And now, when you were in high school, did you have any inkling as far as what you wanted to do back then, or
the way the system works back there is, I know I want to go into engineering. I didn't know which one, and it's not kind of like by choice exactly like I want to do this, but it's an engineering sense. And there are a bunch of choices out there. I mean, when somebody thinks about like India or Asia, you think about like, hey, this guy must be a computer science, software, something like that, right?
Yeah.
My wife's a computer science background.
Okay.
But mine's like, based on what's going on, I went into civil engineering.
Okay.
And once I went in there, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is going to be it. And I don't want to move. I don't want to change. But got my footing in the whole civil engineering world kind of a thing. And then as I was getting to my like senior year, I was like, okay, what do I do? Do I do structural? Do I do highway? And then the thing that caught me was some sort of a like hydrology, stormwater, rain,
Okay.
the floods, that sort
Sure.
of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's interesting now. Is there a lot of flooding in India, or how does the climate work?
It's pretty dry. Like you don't see like the vegetation and stuff like this. It's pretty dry, but at the same time, when it floods, because it's so dry, and you talk about like similar hurricanes, they call them cyclones there, and when it comes over, everything is underwater. Everything floods, kind of a thing. Everything washes off. Also, the infrastructure right there back then. I mean, and now it's much better.
Sure.
It's like the quality and stuff. Things wash out. Roads are buckling and stuff like that. So definitely a lot more flooding. But once I started looking at hydrology and stormwater stuff, my focus was all like, hey, let me get into flooding. And
Okay.
I still get very excited and passionate about like all the flooding that's happening. I mean, more recently, like the August storm we had in
Sure.
Connecticut, which
Oh,
like
yeah.
created like real big impact, and we jumped in like the next day and started helping people. And I was like, the day after. I go to a site and I was like trying to go to this location, and then roads were washing out, and I had to like stop people like, hey, you can't go over here, and like with local people, and so I called the DPW, so like, you need to close this road off. I mean, it was like things like that
Serious.
were happening. So
Yeah.
I was like, anytime like something happening, I mean, it's unfortunate. We
Yep.
don't want those things to
Right.
happen, but
No.
at the same time, it's happening and you want to fix it or you want to do something, that's what drives me.
Yeah. Now, from a standpoint of climate change, what's your take on climate change? I mean, obviously, some people, oh, it's a hoax and all that with all the extreme weather events that we've been having, myself, I think there's a significant influence for climate change. I don't know. What's your take?
I mean, it's happening.
Yeah.
It's real. It's happening. It's out there. You can see it. I mean,
Absolutely.
I am a designer. I run the numbers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it live. I see these things, and I'm like, when was the last time 16 inches of rain or 20 inches of rain fell in Oxford, Connecticut?
Yeah.
That was like 100 years ago. Whatever. They're
Yeah.
calling this a 1,000-year flood. That doesn't happen, and
Yeah.
it was not even predicted.
Yeah.
So I can see these slow-moving storms happening. Yes, the ocean temperatures and the stuff we are doing is impacting.
Yeah.
Again, irrespective whether you call it a climate change or something else or not, or you think like it's a natural phenomenon, whatever, you need to react to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to we want to be proactive as opposed to reactive, but we are more reactive. A hurricane comes through, a flood comes through, we are fixing this thing.
Right.
Versus when you get an opportunity, when you get a chance, why don't you start like doing something, knowing that something big can happen?
Yeah.
We don't want to spend a lot of money, but at least like think beyond like, oh, let's go change this pipe and put it in a different pipe. Try to do like, hey, what if this were to flood, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's happening, even though it's some people don't want to really
Acknowledge it.
acknowledge it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in their back mind, I know they did. I mean, we all do in some context. We don't acknowledge certain things, but we know this is happening.
Yeah. Whether it is,
And we are living it
well,
right now.
exactly, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. To the standpoint of all these extreme events that weather events, whether it be snow, whether it be rain, whether it be
Yeah.
flooding, and so forth, it does impact. And and I'm sure you've seen it. In your engineering field, okay, the U.S. Every town, every city is suffering under aging infrastructure.
Yep.
And aging infrastructure. I mean, you're looking at pipes that have been underground 100 years. They're not designed, from a stormwater standpoint to take the flows that are coming through today,
Yep.
but also from the supply standpoint.
Yep.
So to go from there. Do you advise your clients on aging infrastructure?
Definitely. I mean, part of the thing is they're also the funding. That's the
Well-
key. Like the people don't have money. They're going by the budgets and the capital budgets and stuff. At this point, there is money through other sources, whether it's the state, federal, infrastructure funds, things like that, and you're getting this extra cushion money from all of this stuff. So people call us and have us look at it, and it's like, okay, we want to replace this and whatever. And then we're like, okay, you know what? Do you want to take a minute, step back, and say like, okay, do I want to put something bigger, better? I mean, I'm not trying to put like the biggest oversell kind of a thing,
Right.
but like, okay, do you really want to take it out, or do you want to fix it so that you're not looking at something washing out or something else kind of a thing? So we kind of say like, within their comfort, and say like, hey, there are these grants available. If you really want to think beyond what's out there, maybe you can, and we show them like different options and say, maybe you just go talk to FEMA or go talk to the state or somebody, and then try to see if you want to do that. And then we definitely give them options.
So you help facilitate,
Yes.
finding grant money or
Finding
sources
grant
of-
money, grant applications, talk to state, talk to federal agencies, stuff like that. Sometimes it could take a little longer, but at the same time, we say like, hey, if you want to use your own money, or you're trying to do something, you may never do it. You may not get a local approval. Versus like, we definitely facilitate those things and see like, okay, try to make the infrastructure, the pipes, what you're replacing, to be a little bit more resilient. Think about like, you're putting this thing, it has a 75-year life, 100-year life. Think about what happens 25 years from now. You're definitely going to get a lot more precipitation. You're going to get a lot more sea level rise, and higher tides and stuff like that. Think about it, and at that point, it's up to you.
Well, and the thing, a lot of towns, basically, there are a lot of small towns that manage their DPW and so forth. They don't have the resources. They don't have grant writers or people to go out and secure funding. So they can contact you people.
Yep,
okay,
definitely.
and you can kind of walk them through the process, if you would.
Yeah. Yeah. So the other side of my story here is, I'm the chair of an association called Connecticut Flood Managers Association. So there is something. It's a part of ASFPM, which is Association of State Floodplain Managers. So this is like a flood organization for entire U.S. And we have a Connecticut branch to it. I'm the chair for this, and we have like monthly meetings. Our annual conference is coming up next month at CCSU.
Okay.
That's where we're bringing in everybody from the state, FEMA, DEP, all the municipal folks together in an annual conference. There's going to be like 120 people there. And we are educating folks on what's happening, and we have a number of talks from different, like people from other states, the key issues, the funding in particular, and we have speakers from DOT as how they reacted to the floods in August, and we have speakers from DEP talking about like the new regulations, the dam safety issues, the funding, those kind of things.
Sure, the lead copper rule, and I think I went to that last year. They had that last year. Didn't
Yes,
they?
some of it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think I went to that last year. I just retired from the town of Portland. I was the when I first started out, I was conservation coordinator through the water department, the whole 8 years, and then about 15 years ago, I became the IT director, and things took a different path. But I've still been involved, with water as far as that goes.
Nice. I mean, we need to stay in touch with infrastructure. That's what I see. Like when kids and younger folks who do, we go like whenever I get an opportunity, I try to go to like my what do you call, like bring your fathers to school kind of a thing. And I'm like, I go there and go to the like, I live in Southington, and I went to my kids' elementary school at 4th grade, and then I did a show and tell with like, hey, this is what we do, this is what we fix, this is what we do,
it's
that kind of stuff, to educate them, and like they get motivated,
Well, and it's funny, you may think those are cliche little presentations and so forth, but there's more than likely there's one or two people or kids in the audience that say that's going to ring a bell, and that's going to say, I'm going to do, one of the things, like I say, with from the standpoint of succession planning in the industry, both on the engineering side and on the wastewater side, as well as the operational side. From an operator side, the average age of an operator, in Connecticut, I mean, we have like 179 towns, but we have over 400 operators that are in the state as registered operators. Over 50% of them, are able to retire in the next 5 years, and the average age is 53. So
exactly.
We've got to start, as I say, refilling the pipeline, so to speak, literally. With the young talent, and you never know, and not every student is made to go to college. You know, sometimes academia, but they're good on an operational level. You know, from certified operators, wastewater and clean water. But you've got construction people. One of the things that I do, I run water boot camps for the Metropolitan District. Okay,
Nice.
and basically what we do is we bring in students from MDC's 8 member towns, okay, and expose them to
Nice.
careers within the industry.
That's so true.
We take them around to all the departments. You got the engineering department, you got the GIS department, you got the meter department, you got construction. So it's kind of a really of a show and tell of what goes on behind the curtain, so to speak.
Definitely,
So-
definitely. Just one more example. WTS, which is Women's Transportation Seminar, they're like more transportation focused. They do a STEM event in the Rocky Hill Public Library around like the May period.
Okay.
All these consultants go and like make models of certain things, and kids come in
Yeah.
from town, they advertise this, and then they go and see like, hey, they'll make bridges with like Legos, or like
Yep.
they run cars down the rough roads and stuff. Up there, what we do from our end, at least for for a couple of years, what we've done is shown like the water side of things, like the
Okay.
stormwater. I had my kids
Yeah.
build with Play-Doh a model of different land uses, like here is a farmland, and here is a building, and
Yeah,
here is
yeah.
a road and a bridge and a water. And we showed different things to the kids, saying like, hey, this is where all the water goes. It all goes into the river. It has to be clean. It's more like public education, like
Sure.
saying, okay, if you see something in your yard, pick it up, clean it out, that sort of stuff. So, and then we had them actually run like water down certain things and show them like how does it go down, is it clean, that sort of stuff. So definitely
Nice.
STEM ways of
Oh,
educating
absolutely.
younger folks.
Yeah. No, that's great. And I think that's we, from an industry standpoint, that's what we have to do is continue to educate the younger folks coming through and bringing them up through and exposing to potential careers. Both on the operational side, the engineering side, because as well as I do that again, we're all getting older. So
Exactly.
we got to start doing this anyway. Anyway, Raju, I part of my my educational background, I'm graduated as a music teacher, and I own a music store. So anyway, but I've been in the water industry for 50 years and so forth. So I have a couple wrap up questions. So what's your favorite type of music?
I listen to like Indian
Okay.
classical
Okay.
kind of music. Again, our music goes back to like several thousands of years.
Okay.
So we are more passionate about those kind of
Okay.
musics and melodies kind of a thing. I listen to some of the stuff here, but like I really don't know the its and bits. But both my kids, being passionate, are into music.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter has been learning violin for like 7-8 years, and she's
Okay.
all into that. She's now in high school.
Okay.
My son he's into cello for like the actual high school program, but he also learns an Indian instrument
Okay.
virtually for the last 3-4 years. It's called tabla. It's like bongos.
Yes, my
kind
son
of a
played.
thing.
My son graduated from Berkeley College of Music in
Oh, nice,
tabla,
nice.
and so it's an intricate
It's a
instrument.
really good
It's-
stuff.
and you
Yeah,
have to-
he's just 11, but he's getting there. So again, being passionate about music and everything, both my kids are into it. They're continuing this stuff.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I don't know if they'll go to music school, but they want to be whatever, like some
Well,
of the stuff, but it lives on with them,
Well,
you know?
in college, we always had a saying that in orchestra there's always room for cello.
Yeah.
They go-
Yeah, I say like, this is too big, and why do you want to pick it? And like, he just likes it, and I was like,
Okay.
okay. He's like, he just stuck on with it, and now he's in middle school, and he still wants to do cello. Go for it, and then the tabla is his actual passion. thing.
Okay, nice. So, do you remember the first concert you ever attended?
These were like back in high school,
Okay.
kind of like concerts where like a certain popular like music singers come on stage and they perform kind of a thing. So
Okay.
I mean, yeah, I didn't go to quite a number of them, but definitely one of them happened around like the college
Okay.
time, back home.
Okay.
I would say.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. And now the last question, okay, is basically, If you got stuck on a desert island, what food could you eat every day?
I don't know, something to stay alive, I guess.
I mean, do you have any?
Okay. I mean, I'm like Indian spicy, right?
Okay.
So we always like spicy stuff and hot stuff, kind of a thing. And on any given day, I like my flavors and spice. And you know, obviously, my wife really cooks really good. And then, even though we have tons of Indian restaurants here, we always like go for like the stuff at home, and it's really everything should be like hot and spicy and flavor kind of. I eat everything, but that's the spicy hot food.
Fantastic. Well, anyway, Raju, thank you for coming up and taking time and giving us a little perspective and what you do in your day job, how you got there, and a little bit about your culture. Fantastic.
Sure. Thank you. Just as a wrap up, like for the kids, dream big, work hard, work smart as well. You can all get up there. I mean, I never imagined like 20 years ago, like I'm going to be like a regional manager, an office manager kind of a role.
Right.
But if you have the right kind of skills, you just don't need to be like something like whatever your day-to-day job. You can diversify yourself, do other things as well, sell things, stuff like that, and you can manage, get up there, be leader. Kind of thing.
Nice.
Sure.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Raju Vasamsetti is in the house from Weston Sampson. So that concludes this episode of the careers in the water industry and the careers you didn't know about, and the future of the water and wastewater industry. And Raju is heavily into stormwater. So Raju, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep.
And like we say, that is all.